Hanging baskets. All right, what do we need to know about hanging baskets? Well, to tell us is Mark Smith at Swarkestone Nursery, and we're here for the June edition of Green Fingertips. Mark, we've got some hanging baskets here.
We have indeed.
Tell us what we're going to do these.
Well, I'm just going to simply plant up a hanging basket. I've got a selection of hanging baskets here. This is the traditional wire basket that everybody knows and loves, and that's your liner that you put in there to stop the soil and the compost going through that. Or you could actually use this is moss. You get it in a bag like that, and you line the basket with the moss, and that looks quite attractive actually, but it can be messy and it can be quite fiddly as well. So that's the wire basket. These also, they're becoming a lot more popular these days, these rattan baskets. Now this is a nice cream one. All the pastel colours are very, very interesting. They complement the summer flowers, the summer bedding flowers quite nicely, and also it means you only have to plant the top. You can't plant in the side obviously, but it means you just plant the top. So actually the cost of making a hanging basket is cheaper just by planting the top. And again, another rattan basket, but the cone shapes are extremely popular, very, very modern these days. Again, you don't have to plant in the side, you just plant the top. Very, very quick, easy job. But what I've got with me today is what's called an easy basket. Now, an easy basket is simply quite a rigid plastic hanging basket, but there's no need for a liner with this one. I know there's great big gaping holes there, but they're simply to put the plant through, and then you clip these guides in place to hold the plant in place. So what I'm going to do is plant one up for you. Okay. So a nice, to start off with, we use a hanging basket compost. Now this one's especially for hanging baskets and containers. You could use an ordinary multi-purpose compost if you wanted to, but the container and basket one is a very, very light mix. It's extremely light. When you pick one of these bags up compared with a regular multi-purpose compost, it's extremely light. Okay. And that's basically, it's easy for you to handle. You know, you don't break your back or injure your back handling the hanging basket when you're hanging it up. So, nice little tip, just a colour label. Now hopefully this will work. Right. Okay, there's no need for a knife, but I've slit the bag open, and the reason why I slit the bag open at the top rather than down the middle is you can use that bag again, put garden waste in there, you know, and store things. So the compost bags are quite handy things to use. So all I'm going to do is simply...
What sort of compost are you using? Is it multi-purpose?
This is a multi-purpose, but it's a special blend for hanging baskets. It's actually got extra nutrients in, a lot more nutrients in for basket plants because they're quite greedy, so they need lots and lots of feed, so it's got extra feed. Actually this one, this Westland one here, lasts up to 4 months. So traditionally you would feed those with a liquid fertiliser or put granules in, but you don't really need to do that. It's all done for you. It's got water retaining gel in the compost, so again you don't have to put crystals in there. So it's done a lot of the work for you, so it's well worth getting a hanging basket compost. So we've done the first layer there, and we're up to the first layer of where the basket plants are going to go. So I've crumbled those up because you don't want really big clods of soil. You need it nice and fine for the roots to get through. So I tend to break it up with my fingers as I'm putting it in there.
So someone who hasn't done this before, is this quite easy?
It is. If you use an easy basket like this, it's extremely easy. I think if somebody attempted to do a hanging basket for the first time using a wire one, I think they'd find it quite difficult, quite fiddly. They might end up breaking the plants because the plants can be quite delicate, and you've got to shove the root ball of a plant through those holes. So it means squeezing the roots or breaking the roots to get them through the holes, and it can be quite fiddly. So I actually prefer these easy baskets. So just simply, these are all trailing plants which are ideal for the side of the basket to trail down and give you colour. Now there's so many different things you can use. Straight away I chose a Lysimachia. which is a gold leaf trading plant, and it's just simply there for its gold leaf. It's not just there for flowers, it's actually for gold leaf. And I thought it'd be quite nice because it shows up well against a dark basket. I think it's well worth having a few foliage plants in there, whether it be variegated plants like this is Nepeta, sorry, which is a variegated leaf plant, or we've got the silver leaf Dichandra there, which again is a very shiny silvery trading plant. But it's nice to incorporate those because most of the trading plants that you do have tend to be green leafed, and if they do finish flowering, it's nice to have some foliage there just to increase the length of the basket colour, you know. So I put the lysomation in. It's just simply tip it upside down, give it a squeeze, and it comes straight out. It's a good root formation there. It's not pot bound or anything like that, so that's good. And all it simply is you put it in that way. See, there's no need to actually squeeze the root ball. You're not damaging the roots by doing this. You lay it in the little, there's like a little dip in the front there for the plants to go. And you put your little guide in there. And then that should just clip into place. That's one. It's there we go. There we go.
A bit tricky.
Yeah, it's just it's nice when it's warm because they go in very easy. So that's actually holding that in place now. It's not going to go anywhere. And once you start filling up the other plants, which we're going to do quickly now. Put these in here.
Now, I remember back in April when we did that programme, we looked at these sort of plants, the plug plants, aren't they?
That's right, that's right.
And this is from the plug plants it's grown?
This is the next stage on from those plug plants, yeah. A lot of the plants that we saw in the show are these same plants, but just simply the next stage on in a bigger pot. If you wanted to, you could actually do these earlier on. It's easier if I'm actually looking this side of the... but apart from there we go. You can actually use them, fill a basket like this earlier on in the season using those plug plants that we saw. Those fit in here quite happily, but you're just doing it a little bit earlier. The basket's filling up and it's developing. Obviously, if you're doing it at this stage in June, it's going to take a while for it to fill out and really get growing. But you can do it quite happily at this time of year. The next plant I've got, this is Bacopa. Now, Bacopa is an extremely popular plant. These pure white flowers, it's just a massive white flower, so I'm including this into my basket because I want it to look extremely nice. It's a personal favourite of mine, the Bacopa.
It's looking great at the moment.
Yeah,
Mark.
well, already it's starting to fill up. You're getting the pink, the white and the foliage colour. I'm going to look this side, so I know I can actually see what I'm doing rather than trying to feel. There we go. Straight in there. Just takes a bit of bending. You don't want to have any fancy nails when you're doing this. That's for sure. Right, that's kind of.
Like I said, Mark, is it quite easy?
It is easy. It's I'm not very good with fiddly things, but most people tend to find it. That's another Bacopa. We'll do the Dichandra because that's another foliage plant. You've got two green, you've got foliage plant, and it just balances it up quite nicely. This goes extremely silver in the sunlight. In the shading that we've got here, it's a little bit on the green side, but when you see this in bright sunlight, it's really, really silver. So, yeah, just squeeze that in because I don't want to trap the plant and damage it. So, and again, I'll look this side rather than the other side, try and fit. See, it goes straight in, but you just need to ease this one in. So,
there's a professional at work now.
This is it. This is it. And you're just hearing for the click. There we go.
There we go.
Right, so we've got the foliage. We've got foliage again, so we'll go for flower. This is a pretty one. This is Bacopa or Brachicum. Brachicum pink, there's also Brachicum blue. I do like the pink, it's a little bit unusual, you don't often see the pink around, but including the pink again.
So it's mix and matching, isn't it?
It is. It's just whatever you like the look of. There's no rules to this. I mean, this is obviously a mixed basket and mixed colours, mixed various colours. A lot of the fashions these days are to do colour schemes. You know, if you've got a white fronted house, maybe you want to do pinks or reds just all in one basket. That's fine. The fashions change over the years, but a traditional basket is all mixed colours, you know, so we'll just grab another clip and we'll have a look this side again. Right, clip in, there we go. So it can be a little bit on the fiddly side, but again, when the baskets are a little bit warmer, it actually flexes, the little brackets flex a lot easier. So that's in there. And what shall we have?
Bit of red,
you like some bit of red? Okay,
well, a bit of red.
Now this is a good one actually. This is Diassia. Diassia is a beautiful colour. We've got the apricot one there. And we've got the red. Pick the red. That'll stand out against that golden foliage. Really, really nice when that bushes out, because you've got to remember these will bush and fill out quite happily. So, but Diassia is sometimes used as an alpine plant, which comes back year after year. One or two of these plants possibly will come back, but usually this is just for 1 year. So again, this time next year, you'll have to do this process again. But once you've bought the basket. Once you bought one of these baskets, you've got it for years and years. You know, it's not something where you have to buy the basket every single year. See, that's gone in straight away.
I've got a bit of an eye for colour, Mark. See?
Oh yeah. It's I'm usually chaps are told that I'm not very good at colour, but yeah, that's very good.
We've just proved the point there.
So. We've done the first layer. That was relatively quick. And it'd be.
I don't think that's clicked in there, Mark.
Isn't it? Just. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Me trying to rush things again. Yeah, there we go. That's in.
There we are.
Okay.
Looking very nice.
Yeah, that's the first layer. That's relatively easy, apart from the clips. But you trade off one for the other. It'd be a lot longer process if it was a regular wire basket. So all we do now, we've got the basket there. That's a nice tip. These baskets are really good because they've got a nice flat bottom and they're relatively stable. If you're using a wire basket, a little tip is to have a plant pot underneath, just to keep it nice and level, because that'll be rocking all over the place, and you could damage the plants if you are not careful. So I'm just going to quickly fill up the top layer. Now, once you've done the training plants, they are the trickiest out of all of the plants to do. This is very, very easy. Now, again, I'm breaking up all the compost and making sure it's nice and fine, and all the.
Yeah, it's nice and fine. It's
it is.
thin.
It is.
It's not rough.
No, it's a lot. It's because the roots on the summer bedding plants tend to be very, very fine. You need a finer compost for the roots to go through. So all I'm going to do here is use a traditional petunia, and petunias are great. You get very, very bushy, nice big blousy flowers that give you a great display. A lot of people would be using things like busy lizzies and things like that, but currently at the moment there is a problem with busy lizzies with downy mildew, and anybody that's reputable wouldn't be selling busy lizzies, because nobody can guarantee they won't have downy mildew. So for the time being, we've got petunias to give us colour. So again, nice big bright blousy colours, and it's just simply like that. You create a space with your fingers, and the next one going in again, straight in there. Just cover it a little bit in between with the compost, just to make sure all the roots have got some compost to form.
And again, this is mix and matching, isn't it?
Again, mix and match is no. You can have a plan. You can have a colour scheme, but this is just how it is, and you'd be surprised how good it does look when you just simply get it stuck in, start planting it up, and see where you go from there. Sometimes some of the better baskets are like that, actually. Okay, So I thought I'd do a purpley blue on this side. Now again, you can, I haven't done it here, but you can, depending on the time, because we're in June now, if you want the basket to look fuller now, you could put these petunias closer. I've got 2 packs here, but you could put the petunias closer to give a more instant, fuller effect. I've given a bit of space for them to grow and fill out.
And breathe.
But you can actually cram the plants in as much as you want. It's entirely up to your budget and the time. If you're doing it later on in the season, normally you would do it sort of middle of May, June time, doing your baskets. So we're in June at the moment, so you could put a lot more in. There's things like, if you left gaps here, you could leave, there's a popular basket plant called lobelia, and lobelia, you could put little plugs of lobelia in just to trail over the sides, and that fills out very, very quickly. So it all depends on what time you've got. Again,
I know this is something my wife will be interested in.
Oh yeah.
She likes her hanging baskets. She's got one of them hanging up in the outside.
Yeah.
It just looks really nice.
Yeah. Again, with the wire ones, it's not just for summer. You can plant up autumn and winter baskets. Autumn and winter baskets tend to be hardy plants, so you can actually use that basket year after year, which is so it's well worth doing a winter and autumn basket, or keeping hold of the basket to do that, because there's always plenty of colour around in the autumn and winter. So we've done the ring of petunias now. Okay. Again, that was extremely quick, and what we need is a centrepiece. So I'm actually going to take a bit of that compost out. You always finish off with a centre. Now this is very, very dirty, and there's compost everywhere because I've been throwing it in. And you can use lots and lots of different plants, but this is a typical geranium. This is an American hybrid, which means that it's going to have a huge flower on it. And I've picked the American hybrid. There's all sorts of colours. We've got the deep scarlet there. We've got these new varieties which has the purple splashing on. This is mosaic purple, which has a splashing effect on the flower. And then the more intense violet, which is almost luminous, you know, and again, it's personal preference. And which do you like, Graham?
The red one.
The red one, okay. So
I like red. My favourite colour.
We'll put the.
But they look nice together when you put them all together, don't they?
They do, yeah. You can put those in a container all together. You can use them as a house plant. They do very good as a house plant. But whenever you see a simple geranium in a terracotta pot, it looks fantastic, and it will give you flower right the way through to the end of October, November time. You know, giving good care. Just take that label out, and it simply just slots in. Give it a little bit of a push. A little bit of firm push so it meets all the compost, and then a bit of a dash of compost around the sides. Making sure you've got
fantastic, Mark.
Yeah, it's very, very quick job. Very, very quick job. Obviously, you know, if you wanted to put a bit more time into it and add in a few more bits and pieces of trading plants, you can do. But yeah, that's your hanging basket. Like I say, it's very, very dirty. You just dust off these plants, but when you come to water it, I would always water it after you've hung it up, because obviously the weight of the basket, you could injure your back. But once you water it, all that compost would simply fall off and it'll look very fresh. And within a week to 2 weeks, that'll start to develop and get bigger, and you start to see a lot more flowers as well. But that's your summer hanging basket done.
Okay, Mark, that looks really fantastic what you've made up there in a very quick time. How much would all this cost?
Well, because you're doing it from scratch this year, it would cost you roughly about £30. But you've got to remember that obviously the basket, which will be about £7 of that, you can use year after year, so the costs go down. And of course, you can get smaller baskets as well as larger baskets. I mean, so, like we mentioned earlier on with the rattan, without the training plants in, just filling the top with a bit of compost would cost you no more than £10, £12, something like that. Okay. So it's all to do with your budget and on what you've got available to spend, but you can make it as expensive or as cheap as you'd like.
Okay. Okay, we've moved out into the summer sunshine now, and Mark, we've got some the plant of the month here.
Yeah, this is plant of the month for June, and this is Ericium Bowles Mauve. Because it's summer now, it's June, a lot of the herbaceous perennial plants start to come into flower now, and one of the best is Ericium Bowles Mauve.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, you can do yourself an injury saying that. But the reason why I've picked this as plant of the month, it's like really any month, it really does give you value for money. It's a popular plant, it's been around for quite a number of years. This is kind of been in flower since February, so it's still looking glorious now. The flowers are starting to finish on this particular stem here, and what you would typically do is actually snip off the flower stem right to where the foliage starts, and immediately it starts sending up new flower bud. So potentially this could still flower from now in June right the way up to October, November time. So you've almost got a continuous amount of flower right the way through the year. It's evergreen, it's very, very easy to grow. It really does need full sun though. The more sun you give it, the more flowers you get. Great for a border, great for a container. Doesn't get leggy, there's not much maintenance apart from taking the flower buds off there. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful shrub. I've picked out the mauve variety because it is a very, very popular variety, but there are other varieties. Another one that we grow here, we grow the Bowles Mauve here, but another one we grow here is this variegated one, which is Linium variegata, as the leaf suggests. This has like a two-tone effect of a peach and purple on the same flower, which gives you added interest. But the flowers stand out so well against the bright foliage. And again, just like the Bowles Mauve, the flowers are just about finishing, and it's already sending up new flower buds to follow on from the old flowers. So really continuous flowering right the way through the summer and autumn. And here's another one. This is a brand new variety. Again, brighter foliage, I would say, than the Linium variegata, but a different kind of variegation, a lot brighter. But this one, this bright yellow one, again, very, very vivid. Again, if you planted this against some dark foliage, it'd stand out really, really well. This is Warburton's Fragrant Star, and as this name suggests, it is a scented variety, so he's just giving you that added bonus of a scent as well as this continuous flower. So Ericium Bowles Mauve is our plant of the month this month.
And how's that come to be plant of the month?
Just because it really gives you value for money. I like to pick plants that are giving you value for money. They're easy to grow. I don't tend to pick things that are flowering for a week or 2 weeks and then finished. I really do like plants that you can plant, and somebody can quite easily come up to me and say, I picked your plant of the month and it's absolutely fantastic, and that's the kind of response I want, and you certainly get that from the plants that I pick out. They are carefully selected.
So Ericium Bowles Mauve.
Bowles Mauve, yeah.
I said that right. Okay then, Mark, so what have we got for the jobs of the month for June?
Well, the jobs from June, now it's getting a lot warmer. Certain people are lucky enough to have greenhouses. You need to keep those ventilated because they get extremely hot during the summer months, so making sure you've got plenty of ventilation in the greenhouse to not damage your plants. Also, if it does get very, very sunny, include shading in the programme. Cover it with cool glass, which is a product that you spray over the glass to keep scorch at bay. Also, you need to look out for, as it's getting warmer, things like insects start to, aphid, black fly, green fly, caterpillars start to become very, very active when it becomes warmer. So check for signs of those and spray if necessary. You can get sprays for fruit and veg, so that they're safe on fruit and veg. While the weather's now nice and warm, everything's starting to grow quite happily. You've got lawns starting to shoot, so regular cuts of lawn, remembering to gather up all the clippings so you're not encouraging moss. But it's great to get a feed on the lawns while they're growing, actively growing. They still need feeding, so keep up with the feeding. Any repairs that you need to do, like sowing seed, you can do that when it's nice and warm. The seed starts to germinate very, very quickly. It's still, while it's nice and warm, we've had a rough time with the winter and the spring with it being very, very cold. It's still, it's not all about summer bedding and things like that at the moment. You can still plant trees and shrubs at this time of year. People forget about the trees and shrubs and they tend to think that you can only plant them in winter or autumn, but it's still a great time in June to plant. It's nice and pleasant out. And there's also lots and lots of shrubs that are in full colour at the moment, so it's well worth planting trees and shrubs at the moment. If you are planting trees and shrubs, or you've got existing trees and shrubs, remembering that if it's existing ones, they do need feeding, and they need a granular fertiliser to be placed around the base of the plant. Just a handful will last all year.
Okay, Mike, thanks for that informative chat today. How do people get in touch with you if they want to know more?
Okay, well, if they get in touch with us the normal way, they can get to us by telephone, which is Derby 01332 700 800. They can check on our website, which is www.gardencentrederby.co.uk. Or they could email a question in, which is always a good thing to do, which is info@swarkestonenursery.co.uk, remembering the E in Swarkestone. And also we've obviously got our Facebook page as well, just simply search for Swarkestone Nursery.
Okay, and I understand you're on the Radio Derby every month.
Yeah, I'm on Radio Derby every month, do a regular slot on there, talking about things that you need to be doing in the garden and the themes of the month, whether there's something that's come up in the news. But that's a regular feature on Radio Derby, and that's the first Thursday of every month, and that's just after 1 o'clock.
So just a little insight onto next month, what have we got coming?
Well, yeah, next month it's an exciting month because we're going to be talking about roses. A lot of people struggle with growing roses, but I've got a few special ones coming up, and we're going to be talking about the different breeds and the scents and care, and what you can do about eliminating black spot and green fly and things like that, the easy way. And so yeah, next month's going to be pretty special.